New tonight, it was a quick verdict for the man accused of killing Delaware police officer Corporal Keith Hecook. Plus, Wilmington's residency requirement is back in the news, and free household items will be available to you on Friday. We'll let you know what and where. Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for joining us this evening. Making headlines today, calling the number of open positions in the city of Wilmington a, quote, crisis. Mayor Mike Przicki is hiring new employees without enforcing a residency requirement. The mayor recently sought legal advice from city attorneys who deemed that the old residency requirement is moot because the city council has not affirmed the requirement 14 months after it was given the authority to do so by the Delaware General Assembly. City council members will vote this Thursday night on an ordinance that removes the city's residency requirement for non-elected employees, disbands the city officer and employee residency review board, and deletes a requirement that city employees file an annual declaration of residency with Human Resources. Several city council members gathered outside City Hall on Monday to express their opposition to removing the requirement in its entirety, calling for compromise or to put the question into the voters' hands in a citywide referendum. Council members said the requirement, which now stands at 5 years, improves the sense of community among employees and that talented people can be found right here in Wilmington. Wilmington has grappled with the issue for years, claiming that residency requirements have traditionally made hiring employees more difficult. City officials expect the applicant pool to grow substantially without this residency requirement. Currently, there are 92 open positions in Wilmington, including critical employee positions such as engineers, planners, attorneys, police officers, sanitation drivers, as well as 911 dispatchers. And after reviewing all agreed upon facts, it took Sussex County Judge no less than an hour to find a Delmar man guilty of killing Delmar police officer Corporal Keith Hecook. Brandon Wilkerson was convicted of 16 counts after a one-day stipulated trial, meaning that both the state and the defense agreed to the facts of the case. There was also numerous exhibits, including videos and body camera footage that was shown in court. Hecook died several days after he was brutally beaten when responding to a call back in April of 2021. Wilkerson will be sentenced on December 8th. And the Delaware State Fire Marshal's office is investigating a fire that heavily damaged a house trailer down in Lewis. One person was found dead inside the trailer. The blaze, reported around 2:30 a.m., occurred on McNichol Place inside the McNichol Place mobile home community that's near Savannah Road. Firefighters arrived on the scene with an active fire inside the dwelling. State fire investigators were on the scene this morning searching for the fire's origin and its cause. A little further north, a Smyrna police detective is facing federal child sexual exploitation laws charges. Prosecutors with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware say 33-year-old Michael Anthony Kilty distributed child pornography via his Snapchat account. The Justice Department says federal agents executed a search warrant at his home on September 22nd and found additional child pornography in his Snapchat account. Kilty has been charged with distribution and possession of child pornography. In 2017, Kilty received the Attorney General's Award for Legal Excellence. If convicted of distributing child pornography, the man faces up to 20 years in prison. If convicted of possession, he faces a maximum of 10 years. And the treasurer of a Delaware Girl Scout troop has been charged with felony theft of more than $12,000. This is according to Delaware State Police. The 52-year-old Frankford woman seen here was treasurer of the troop for more than 4.5 years. During that time, she made unauthorized purchases with a card and issued a cash fraudulent checks, according to police. Police met in January with leaders from the Girl Scouts of Chesapeake Bay, which serves all of Delaware and parts of Maryland as well as Virginia. The former treasurer turned herself in late last week and was released on her own recognizance. The Delaware Department of Justice's Community Engagement Unit is hosting a community pop-up event to share free resources with the community. These include diapers, clothing items, household items, mental health and substance use resources, as well as flu and COVID vaccinations. Food and beverages will also be available. This is all happening on Friday, October 20th at the Adams 4 Shopping Center. That address is 800 West 4th Street in Wilmington. And Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long and NFL Hall of Famer Randy White joined forces with Delaware coaches and student athletes both in Newcastle and Kent counties over the weekend to kick off the Coaches versus Overdoses initiative. The program aimed at preventing opioid abuse and encouraging safe medication disposal among student athletes here in Delaware. The two-day event, held at McCain High School in Wilmington and Caesar Rodney High School in Camden, took place during National Substance Abuse Prevention Month, which helps to educate communities about the dangers of substance abuse, especially among younger Americans. Hall Long and Randy White, a native Delawarean, were featured speakers during halftimes of both of the games. White spoke at his alma mater, McCain, about the recent loss of his son-in-law due to prescription drug overdose. The initiative includes take-home drug tests, public service announcements, books for the athletes, and free take-home disposal kits for medications. According to the National Institutes for Health, more than 28% of student athletes will receive an opioid prescription at some point. This is one of the highest rates of any student population. As of September of this year, a total of 360 people died in Delaware of a suspected drug overdose. And more than 70 business and community leaders will take over the reins at Delaware schools this week. It's all part of the annual Delaware Principal for a Day program, hosted by the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber's workforce development affiliate, called the Partnership, Inc., strategically places leaders in middle and high schools throughout the first state. Throughout the week, participants will experience a day in the life of a principal and play a role in the development of Delaware's future workforce. Business leaders were asked what industries they could offer expertise in, and principals were asked to identify industries of need and their goals coming out for Principal for a Day. And Speak English 5 Sports Communication Group held a mentorship initiation day at the Chase Fieldhouse last Friday. The purpose of the day was to welcome students as mentees into various programs run by Speak English 5, which connects young students with mentors. Many of the mentors come from the women in professional sports component of Speak English 5. Mentees range in age from 5 years old to adults who are part of the career development aspect of this organization. Also offered was programs for parents, including cooking demonstrations, life coaching, career development information, yoga, as well as a panel discussion. The panel discussion and events can be seen on the organization's YouTube channel. And a lifelong dream for Milton Community Food Pantry finally became reality with the opening of a new warehouse. The new 1,500 square foot building will handle the pantry's food storage and preparation. Officials say it will also cut down on waiting times, increase efficiency, and expand the pantry's food rescue program. U.S. Senator Tom Carper said the work of the pantry is important to not only help people in need, but also to help people in need to take the next step to becoming self-sustaining. The facility is located on Union Street Extension in Milton. The Delaware chapter of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women held a gentleman's cook-off. A night in Paris was the theme over the weekend, and it was attended by more than 200 people. The event was held at the Hagley Soda House Museum, located in Wilmington, and guests dressed their finest Paris-themed attire, as you can see here. 12 chefs served up everything from banana pudding to salmon provençal. The 2023 People's Choice winner was Milton Downing, who whipped up a bean-centric cassoulet. All benefits from the event benefit Delaware Black women and girls. And it's almost basketball season, if you can believe it. The Philadelphia 76ers held a free blue versus white scrimmage presented by Ticketmaster on Saturday at the Chase Fieldhouse. The open practice style event also featured new 76ers head coach Nick Nurse and the 2023-2024 roster as the team continues its preparation for the upcoming season. The 76ers season tips off Thursday, October 26th, that's next week, against the Bucks in Milwaukee. The home opener for the defending G League champion, the Bluecoats, is scheduled for Friday, November 10th, against the Westchester Knicks at the Chase Fieldhouse. Details on tickets can be found at bluecoats.team. And before we go, Chasten Buttigieg, husband of Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, will visit the Lewis Public Library this Saturday, October 21st. He'll be there for a book signing and discussion of his memoir called I Have Something to Tell You, which has been newly adapted for young adults. Buttigieg has rewritten his best-selling memoir about growing up gay in a small Midwestern town. The story follows his journey as he first keeps his identity hidden for a long, painful time. Registration is required and participants will be asked to select either a virtual or in-person attendance. You can find more information on the Lewis Public Library's website, seen there on your screen.
Topping the news, a Kent County couple has pled guilty to multiple felony counts of child abuse and torture of their children. That news was announced by the Delaware Department of Justice this morning. Over a period of 20 months, 46-year-old Mary Vinson and 37-year-old Charles Vinson allegedly abused their children. Reports indicate the children, ages 10 and 11, were made to stand for long periods of time. That's not all. The couple is accused of withholding food, force-feeding them, and violently and repetitively assaulting them. Both children were hospitalized several times due to the severity of the abuse, which was caught on video cameras placed in the children's room by the parents. Mary Vinson pled guilty to 30 felony counts. She faces a minimum sentence of 30 years with a possible maximum life sentence in prison. Charles Vinson pled guilty to 12 felony counts. He faces a minimum of 10 years and also faces a possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. Both will be sentenced by a Superior Court judge in January. In other news, car thefts are on the rise. That according to Newcastle County Police. Over the past 3 months alone, officers have investigated 220 thefts or attempted thefts. Police say the crime spree has been countywide, but communities in Harbor Club, Newark Oaks, Galloway Court, Wilton, and Greenbridge have been targeted the most. 51 people have been arrested. 44 of them have been juveniles. There are things you can do to protect your vehicle. Lock your doors, remove your key or spare keys from your vehicle, close all windows, park in well-lit areas, park near surveillance cameras, install tracking systems, don't leave valuables inside, and don't leave your vehicle running when unoccupied. If you do become a victim, call police immediately and know your license plate number, the year, make, model, and color of your vehicle, the VIN number, and any tracking information your vehicle may have. Speaking of car thefts, 3 teenage boys have been charged with several attempted car thefts in Wilmington. Police say they happened in August and September. While the names of the teens are being withheld because they are minors, investigators say one is 17 and the 2 others are only 13. The older boy is being held at the Newcastle County Detention Center while the 13-year-olds were released on bail. Wilmington police made quick work of an arrest in a Tuesday morning shooting in the 800 block of West 7th Street. 2 community engagement unit officers were on foot patrol 1 block away when they heard shots fired. Arriving at the scene, they found a 16-year-old boy had been shot. While one officer rendered aid to the victim, a second officer pursued the suspect on foot. Police took that suspect, 19-year-old Messiah Thompson, into custody without incident. Thompson was charged with several felonies, including attempted murder, and was taken to jail on a $130,000 cash-only bail. The shooting victim was taken to the hospital in stable condition. If you have unneeded or expired prescription drugs in your medicine cabinets, Wilmington police have a way for you to get rid of them safely. The department will join the National Prescription Drug Takeback program. It's organized each year by the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration, Officers will collect the medications on Saturday, October 28th, in front of Frawley Stadium on the riverfront from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. According to the DEA, unneeded drugs frequently become a gateway to addiction. The majority of opioid addictions start with prescription pills found in medicine cabinets at homes. If you can't make it that day, there is a permanent collection bin located in the lobby of Wilmington Police Headquarters at 300 North Walnut Street. And with nearly 1 year left until primaries, races for 2 open Delaware congressional seats got a little more crowded this week when 2 Republicans announced their candidacies. 53-year-old Danielle Hall from Dover joined the race to fill Delaware's lone U.S. House seat, left open when Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester announced she's running for the U.S. Senate. That seat will be left vacant when Senator Tom Carper retires in late May. A Republican, the business owner and mother of 10, Hall has run unsuccessfully for political offices before. She ran for Dover City Council earlier this year. She also lost in the race to become lieutenant governor in 2020 and in 2018 ran a failed race for the state Senate. Hall joined several Democrats who want to be Delaware's next U.S. representative. Delaware State Treasurer Colleen Davis announced she's in the race, as did State Senator Sarah McBride. Also running for the seat is State Housing Authority Director Eugene Young. The race for the U.S. Senate seat stands at 3. One more person announced plans to face off with Blunt Rochester for the Senate seat. Walmart executive Eric Hansen, a Republican, threw his hat in the ring yesterday. The Republican Bill Taylor of Millsboro is also running for that race. A primary will be held on September 10th of next year. And political races aren't the only things heating up in the first state. Phillies fever was raised a few degrees today. The Phillies' Red October bus tour pulled into downtown Wilmington at 10th and Market Streets. A pep rally featured the Philly fanatic who was handing out rally towels and fans. More than 100 people gathered, many signing the bus to wish their team well wishes in the postseason. Spotted in the crowd was Delaware Governor John Carney, who, according to a spokesperson, is a huge fan. Heroes of another kind were cheered on recently when some first responders received Kent County's Life-Saving Award. Magnolia firefighters Joshua Norris and Lindsay Adams were honored by the commissioners of the Kent County Levy Court, along with State Trooper Thomas Califano. The commendations came after the trio and an unknown bystander worked together to put out a car fire while removing the driver who was trapped inside. The fiery crash happened on February 24th. Adams suffered from burns to her arms during the rescue attempt. The commissioners agreed had it not been for the heroic act of those at the scene, the victim would not have survived. In more news from Kent County, a 60-year-old man is behind bars after a drug bust. Delaware State Police say Homer Kaufman of Clayton was suspected of running a large-scale distribution of narcotics from his home. Police executed a search warrant at Kaufman's house after a 2-month-long investigation. He was taken into custody without incident. Among other things, police found 52.7 grams of crystal meth, more than $2,200 in suspected drug money, along with paraphernalia. Kaufman is now in the Sussex County Correctional Institution. And a trip to a wedding shower turned out to be a little more than that for a Millsboro man and his family. Zach Kattenbach was recognized by the Delaware River and Bay Authority for being the 50 millionth passenger on the Cape May Lewis ferry. He won free passage for that day and future trips, along with some Cape May Lewis swag. DRAB officials say when the ferry made its first trip back in 1964, there were only 8 vehicles and 15 passengers on board. At the 11:15 departure with the Millsboro family on board was all sold out with 100 vehicles and 200 passengers on board. And finally tonight, the words of the day were educational and fun. More than 650 students from First State Montessori Academy dressed as words for the 10th annual Vocabulary Parade recently held in front of the school at 1000 North French Street. The school had the block closed off for students to march and hold a dance party. The head of the school, Courtney Fox, said the street was packed with families and neighbors who came out to join in on all the fun.
Making headlines today, a Middletown High School engineering and science teacher was named the 2024 Delaware Teacher of the Year at a banquet Wednesday night in Dover. Corey Hafer is now eligible to be named the U.S. Teacher of the Year. He had graduated from the University of Michigan in 2009 with a degree in cellular and molecular biology, but decided soon that he wanted to teach. He currently works with Middletown High's 2, 3, and 4 level engineering students. Teaching for 11 years, he wrote in his nominating packet that each set of students keeps things fresh for him. Hafer receives a $5,000 grant from the state along with another $5,000 to benefit his students. 20 teachers were nominated for the Teacher of the Year, one from each of Delaware's school districts. The other 19 will each receive a $2,000 grant. In other news, 2 Rite Aid stores here in Delaware are slated to close as part of the company's Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They include the stores in Chestnut Hill Plaza in Oakletown and Price's Corner store at 3209 Kirkwood Highway. The Chestnut Hill Plaza store is set to close on October 26th and the Price's Corner store the week after on November 6th. The drugstore chain is closing 154 stores as they listed as underperforming in court documents. The company is facing significant financial challenges and multiple lawsuits over opioid prescriptions. Rite Aid had more than 5,000 stores nationwide and now has around 2,000. Here in Delaware, the numbers have dipped as well. In 2017, the company had 42 stores and will stand at 34 after the closures. The company closed a store on Route 40 in Bear just last month. A third man has pled guilty to the murder last year of a 57-year-old Claymont man, 21-year-old Justin Locke, whose GPS ankle monitor placed him at the site where Kevin Goodston's charred body was found. Pled guilty last week to second-degree murder, kidnapping, conspiracy, and a weapons charge. He faces 17 years to life. Locke was arrested just last summer after a driver who was passing Claymont Auto Repair saw several men placing what appeared to be a body in the rear cargo area of an SUV. Court testimony revealed that Locke and 2 other men, quote, had an issue, end quote, with Goodson, who was buying coffee at a gas station near the auto repair shop. Locke and the 2 others saw Goodson walking near the gas station and beat him repeatedly, kicking and punching the man. They left the area but later returned and placed the still breathing Goodson into the vehicle. The trio shot Goodson and set his body on fire at a former Claymont steel plant known as City Steel USA. The longtime custodian for Joy Cleaners, Goodson was the youngest of 6 children. It was not known when Locke and his 2 conspirators will be sentenced. And more details are coming about the death of a Concord preschool teacher. They were made available Wednesday with the unsealing of court documents. The body of 63-year-old Cynthia Almafitano was found late last month in Carousel Park. 1 week later, her 66-year-old boyfriend, Stephen Heck, was charged with the crime. Documents show that Almafitano was killed in Pike Creek shortly after the couple returned from a weekend getaway in Rehoboth Beach. The cause of death was listed as strangulation and numerous injuries. One relative, who was not named, told police that the pair had a tumultuous relationship and a recent breakup. The victim had kicked Heck out of her home and expressed a fear for her life. Court records showed that Heck was first questioned after Almafitano did not show up for work, but he refused to answer any questions. Officers found blood in his car and he was arrested shortly thereafter. He remains in custody after failing to post $1 million cash bail. To Kent County now, where state police say they're investigating a serious crash in Dover that left 1 motorcyclist dead on Tuesday. State police confirmed the crash happened on Hazlettville Road. It's between Apple Grove Road and Rose Valley School Road on October 18th. Authorities say a Dodge Ram was traveling west on Hazlettville when it attempted to turn left into a driveway. The truck turned in front of a motorcycle, that's according to police, and struck the motorcycle. The motorcyclist, an 18-year-old man from Dover, was ejected by the impact. He did die at the scene. Authorities are withholding his identity pending notice to his family, of course. The 57-year-old driver of the Dodge was not injured. Police are asking any witnesses to call them at 302-698-8518. And 4 people face multiple charges after a 2-state police pursuit that started in Dover. It happened early Monday morning when police reportedly spotted a stolen van on Route 13 and attempted a traffic stop. The vehicle then took off, heading south towards Camden and then west into Maryland. State police units from Delaware and Maryland joined the pursuit, which ended 45 minutes later in Easton, Maryland, when the van pulled into a driveway and the driver took off on foot. 38-year-old Joshua Collins of Felton, Delaware, was tracked down by a Dover police canine unit and taken into custody. 3 other people remained in the van and they were arrested without any issues. They have been identified as 32-year-old Holly Ramsey of Felton, 39-year-old David Evans of Dover, and 31-year-old Katie Miller, also of Dover. Police say an 11-month-old baby was found in the van, who they turned over to the Delaware Division of Family Services. All 4 adults arrested on various charges, including endangering the welfare of a child, possession of methamphetamine, and conspiracy. The 4 were in custody awaiting extradition to Delaware. Didn't pay a traffic fine or maybe child support or missed a court date? Well, Safe Surrender is an event that aims to help those with outstanding warrants get a chance to clear their records. Earlier this year, Safe Surrender held an event here in Wilmington, and because of the large turnout, Kent County will be hosting a second one. It's going to be on November 3rd. Officials say some common issues such as missing a court date, lapsing on a payment plan, or being behind on child support can become a problem if you run into law enforcement. The event is designed to give those with outstanding warrants a safe time and place to resolve their issues and receive favorable consideration for coming forward. Safe Surrender will be at the Kent County Courthouse from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on November 3rd. To find out more about the event, you can visit courts.delaware.gov/safe-surrender. To Sussex County now, where Laurel police are investigating a theft at a local convenience store. Around 7:40 a.m. on Thursday morning, officers responded to the Royal Farms located on Georgetown Road for a reported theft. 2 men reportedly went into the store, ordered food, took the food, and then left without paying. The pair then left in what appears to be an older model silver Hyundai Elantra with unknown Delaware registration. They were last seen traveling southbound on Sussex Highway. Police are asking anyone with information to call 302-875-2244. And flags were flown at half-staff in Delaware today to honor a Capitol Police sergeant who suffered a medical emergency while on duty at the Newcastle County Courthouse. Sergeant Darrell Weber Jr. was with Capitol Police for 17 years. He also served with police departments in Dover, Clayton, and Smyrna. Governor John Carney ordered the flags lowered on state buildings through Friday. Local government, businesses, and Delawareans were encouraged to do the same. Many Delawareans diagnosed with cancer are surviving, and mortality and incident rates remain a concern, though, in the first state. Those conclusions were part of the latest findings reported last week by Delaware Health and Social Services and the Delaware Public Health to the Delaware Cancer Consortium. More than 20 years ago, Delaware ranked second among the nation for cancer mortality, but the state now ranks 15th. The most common cancers reported here in the first state are breast, prostate, lung, and colorectal, along with cancers with the highest mortality rates. Efforts continue in Delaware to address barriers to quality health care, such as Screening for Life program. The program seeks to make cancer screenings available to all Delawareans, as early detection of cancer remains the best weapon in the fight against the disease. Qualified Delaware residents can receive screening tests for several types of cancer when recommended by a doctor. To contact the Screening for Life program, call the number seen on your screen. And the Liberian Diaspora Agricultural Group held an inaugural fundraiser recently in hopes of raising more than $100,000 to help promote agriculture and agricultural products in Liberia. The gala was part of a 3-day event weekend that started the mission of building wealth through agriculture. The weekend included a meet and greet, the dinner and ball, and church services on Sunday at the Canon Baptist Church in Newcastle. And Wilmington Mayor Mike Przicki, along with officials and supporters of the Delaware Center for Horticulture, presented in a groundbreaking ceremony on Wednesday. The event marked the commencement of a redesign project for the center located on North DuPont Street in Wilmington. A $3 million campaign has been launched to facilitate the creation of a new community education center and enhance safety and accessibility on the campus. The first phase of the project, encompassing the construction of a new entry circle, gardens, lighting, and signage, is anticipated to be finalized by the spring of 2024. Established back in 1977, the center aims to transform its facilities to better serve the community. And if you have a little extra love to give this holiday season, the Delaware Hospital for Chronically Ill could certainly use your help. The hospital is a nursing home in Smyrna that cares for Delawareans who have no other options for their care. Residents have little family involvement or support, says the nursing home, and their Adopt a Resident program can be an enormous help to them. Members of the community can participate as individuals or groups and help in several ways by donating funds or listed gifts. Sponsors can receive the wish list of a resident or donate in general to fill stockings for residents that were not adopted. To participate, you can use the email or phone number shown here on your screen. And there's some great events happening this weekend, just in time to get you into the Halloween season. First up, the Wilmington Drama League's production of Misery opens Friday, October 20th. Misery, based on the best nail-biting seller by Stephen King, tells the gripping tale of a writer who is at the mercy of his #1 fan, and she's not happy. It's a great show for goosebumps just in time for Halloween. Misery runs through October 29th. Head to wilmingtondramaLeague.org for tickets and showtimes. And moving down to Sussex County, Zombie Fest is set to rise from the grave again at Milton Theater starting 4 p.m. this Saturday, October 21st. This real live street festival features an aerialist, jugglers, unicyclists, stilt walkers, and fire dancers, along with 3 bands. Inside the theater will be performances of the Rocky Horror Show. Those performances do require paid admission, however. For youngsters, there will be a costume contest, face painting, bounce houses, and balloon animals. The festival concludes with a zombie walk, where grisly ghouls will make their way down Union Street. The event, held rain or shine, is free to the public. For more information, head to miltontheater.com/zombiefest. And Halloween will come and go before we know it, and just beyond that, it's Thanksgiving, and that means the annual turkey drive. That's right, it's only 32 days until Big Ives Turkey Drive. Up to 100,000 people, many of them senior citizens and families in need, have been fed a Thanksgiving dinner in the past 4 decades of the Storm and Norman Oliver Thanksgiving Turkey Giveaway. Last year was Oliver's final turkey drive, and he personally passed the baton to none other than our Ivan Thomas, the founder and creative driving force behind DETV. Thomas has set up a website where you can donate or volunteer to help lend a helping hand to the thousands of turkeys that are going to be collected. Just go to the address seen on your screen. And that's going to do it for today's edition of DETV News. Be sure to like and follow us across your favorite social media platforms. And for a look at what's happening all around Delaware, head to our website. That's detvch.com. With tonight's news, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you again here next week.